Nissan created a no-nonsense SUV that was not afraid to get off-road and get dirty. The first generation Xterra was catered to buyers with an active lifestyle and looking for a capable SUV with a low price. There was a standard 4-cylinder engine, but buyers could upgrade their Xterras with a V6 engine and 4-wheel drive capabilities. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the Nissan Xterra, a tough, compact SUV that gave buyers everything they needed and nothing they didn't. So grab a Grandpa Joe's blue cheese soda, kick back, and let's get down to the nitty-gritty. La Jolla, California is where the development of the Nissan Xterra took place. Developed via Nissan Design International, the Xterra would become a Nissan product completely conceived, developed, and manufactured in the United States. Jerry Hirschberg, who at the time was the president of Nissan Design International, mentioned the designers were tasked to create an affordable, rugged, quality piece of equipment. More on Jerry Hirschberg later. Nissan designers and product planners tracked active lifestylers for months, observing and recording how they used their vehicles, and asked lots of questions about what's missing, or what's underrepresented or underutilized, and what they'd include and dismiss in a vehicle that had to adapt to their mountain biking, snowboarding, antique hunting, and home improvement lifestyles. Inputs were taken and submitted. After a bit of product planning, the team quickly began work on the project. The basis for the upcoming vehicle would be the Frontier, Nissan's small pickup that went on sale in 1997 for the 1998 model year and filled in for the long-running hard-body pickup truck. Nissan had the Frontier pickup as well as the Pathfinder SUV during this time. The Frontier was spawned an SUV variant, similar to how the previous Nissan hardbody spawned the first-generation Pathfinder. The Frontier, serving as the basis for the upcoming Xterra SUV, meant that it would have a body-on-frame construction and inherit the off-road capabilities of a truck. 1999. Nissan began Xterra production at its Smyrna, Tennessee facility. With its truck underpinnings, the Xterra may not have been as pleasant for everyday driving as a CR-V or RAV4. But as a benefit, the Xterra offered truck toughness and off-road ability, along with V6 power. As another benefit, a V6 Xterra was at a lower price point compared to those less roomy 4-cylinder competitors. 2000. This marked the first model year of the Nissan Xterra. Being available in both rear-wheel drive and part-time 4-wheel drive, the new SUV offered more of a hardcore truck-like driving experience, rather than a car-based crossover. Based on its appearance, an onlooker might think the Xterra took a few styling cues from the Land Rover Discovery. However, Jerry Hirschberg mentioned the Discovery-like stepped roof was a result of the location of the fuel tank. Whereas the Frontiers was placed under the pickup bed, the Xterra's was located beneath the rear seats. As a result, the rear seats were raised as a way to accommodate the fuel tank, which in turn necessitated raising the roofline for adequate headroom. This gave the Xterra stadium seating in conjunction with the unusual shaped side windows. Next came the heavy-duty aluminum roof rack with its gear basket up front. The basket could store even more gear like muddy boots or wet clothes. Thankfully, the basket was removable, because if you wanted to open the sunroof, the basket had to be gone. During development, the roof rack feature was regarded as a design study, but since the feature was well received by the active lifestyler group, it was approved for production in the final product as optional equipment. Up front, the nose was pure Frontier pickup truck, but the look worked and flowed seamlessly with the rest of the SUV. Another unique styling cue was the bulge on the rear of the Xterra. This was to provide space for the first aid kit. Asymmetrical rear glass wrapped up the look from the rear profile. And as far as a spare tire, Nissan decided to mount it underneath rather than on the rear. The Xterra lineup began with the base XE, equipped with a 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engine, manual transmission, and 2-wheel drive. XE V6 and the top-line SC got a 3.3-liter V6, also used in Nissan's more upscale Pathfinder SUV. With the V6, Xterra buyers had the option to add four-wheel drive capability. Also, stepping up to the V6 gave buyers the choice of the 4-speed automatic. The 4-cylinder mill was good for 143 horsepower, while the 3.3 cranked out 170 ponies. The 3.3-liter V6 was well suited not for its power rating, but for its generous 200 pound-feet of torque at a low 2800 RPM. Drivers could tow a 3,500 pound trailer with the stick shift, or a 5,000 pound one with the automatic. Despite being on the smaller side, the Xterra had a thirst for fuel, getting some of the lowest gas mileage in its class, with an average of just 16 miles per gallon in the city and 18 on the highway. During the development process, the company mentioned their small truck would be affordable once it hit dealerships, and they kept their word. Nissan set the price of the base 4-cylinder 2-wheel drive version for a reasonable $17,500. However, the top officials at Nissan had anticipated most buyers would go for the top-of-the-line SC V6 with 4-wheel drive, which was priced for a bit more at $24,700. All models featured removable, tab-secured rear seat cushions to accommodate a fold-flat rear seat back. At its core, Nissan's SUV was little more than a Frontier wagon. It shared all of its mechanical components and a fair portion of its sheet metal with the company's pickup. That meant it drove like a pickup. On the inside, the Xterra carried over quite a bit from the Frontier. Buyers would find basic cloth seats and a simple dash with basic gauges. The stick for the 5-speed manual was 16 inches tall, but the optional 4-speed automatic would get the job done as well. While something like a Honda CR-V simply drove like a lifted car, the Xterra actually felt capable of taking on whatever you could throw at it. The Nissan Frontier got a significant refresh for 2001. The 2002 Xterra also got a refresh, no longer sharing its front end with the Frontier, but now sporting its own unique styling with black framed round headlights. There was also a taller hood. Nissan raised the hood to make room for an optional supercharger for the 3.3-liter V6. The Eaton M62 supercharged option was directly from the 2001 Nissan Frontier SC. With the supercharged option, the mill now cranked out 210 horsepower. The audio system was upgraded, with a new 300-watt Rockford Fosgate audio system taking its place. Also, there were 3 new exterior colors: Shock Blue, Sedona, and Molten Lava. The other mods were done to the interior, which sported a redesigned instrument panel and improved ergonomics. The new instrument panel had a cockpit feel, with the 3 main gauges set in circular recesses. The facelifted model's naturally aspirated V6 got a small bump in power, now producing 180 horsepower from the previous 170. As a tribute to dedicated Xterra owners, an enthusiast package was offered on the XC V6 4-wheel drive. It included features such as ceiling tie clamps, front tow hooks, a limited slip differential, manually locking hubs, and rubber floor mats, just to name some. The Xterra was marketed as a bare-bones mini SUV to avoid possibly cannibalizing sales of its bigger and more upscale brother, the Pathfinder. However, the 250 horsepower Pathfinder was marketed to a wealthier demographic that demanded not only power but also luxury amenities. This made the Xterra the better bargain for the active outdoor enthusiasts or those simply looking for basic transportation. 2004 will mark the final model year for the first generation Nissan Xterra. Later in 2004, the new second generation made its public unveiling at the New York International Auto Show. It would soon go on sale for the 2005 model year. The new Xterra was larger in all dimensions, offering a standard 4-liter V6, and was a direct evolution of the pre-refresh 2000 to 2001 model with the square headlights. The first generation Nissan Xterra was popular amongst the media and automotive reviewers, getting both praise and recognition. For 2000, it was named Motor Trend Sport Utility of the Year. Also for 2000, it was named North American Truck of the Year. In 2001, it was named Top Car by AAA New Car and Truck Buying Guide. You might be wondering what inspired the name Xterra. Xterra is a series of cross-triathlon races. For example, 3 sport races which include swimming, mountain biking, and trail running. Starting out in 1996 on the Hawaiian island of Maui, it was initially known as the Aquaterra, consisting of a choppy, open water swim, a hilly mountain bike race, and a grueling trail run. Aquaterra was a hardcore twist on the typical smooth surface triathlon. The Aquaterra would later be renamed the Xterra. This name was later licensed by Nissan to use on their small SUV. Nissan also served as the race series' primary sponsor until the two companies parted ways in 2006. The Xterra was not intended for wimps. It's all about getting off-road, getting dirty, and enduring the unforgiving terrain. Hence, why Nissan chose to adopt this name for its SUV. And as its tagline suggested, the Nissan Xterra was everything you need, nothing you don't. Let us know if you owned or drove a 2000 to 2004 Nissan Xterra. As always, thanks for coming out to the show, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Until next time, this is your host Rob, and thanks for tuning in to Antique Tags.